Before we get into the video, a couple of safety things we must go through. So first thing, unplug the machine from the power supply. Isolate that plug so nobody else can plug it back in while you're working on it. Wear some safety gloves because inside the machine is some very sharp edges. And lastly, if you're not confident doing this, contact your local repair agent to help you out. In this video I'm going to show you how to change a door seal on a washing machine. Now there are quite a few bits and pieces you're going to need to remove from the appliance to make the job easy for yourself. You'll probably notice that the door is not on this particular machine. I'd just like to point out there is no requirement to remove the door, but if you think that's going to make it easy for you, we do have another video on that, so follow the link below and you can check that out. So what I'm going to start by doing is taking the lid off the appliance. Now in almost all instances the lid is only secured with a couple of screws, one at each corner. You undo them, slide it back, take the lid off. For the purpose of the video I've already removed them screws, so that will just come off. You're also going to need to remove the soap dispenser. And we're going to start dismantling the front of this cabinet now. So what I'm going to do is remove the retaining clip for the door seal and unscrew the door lock. I'm not going to show that on the video because again we do have another video on that, so again follow the link below and check that out. But once I've got them off, then we can start dismantling the front of the appliance. So now we've got the door seal and the door lock removed from the appliance. What I'm going to do now is unscrew the control panel. Now once you've got the soap drawn out of the way, you'll often find there's a couple of screws. On this particular one there's only one screw, so I'm just going to pop that out. I'm just going to release the little plastic tabs that hold the panel in. Then that is free. Now we don't need that anymore, so we're just going to hang that down on the side there. Now the reason you need to take this off is you need to get this front panel off, and there are a couple of screws hidden behind it, one there, and very often a couple of screws at the bottom as well. So I'm just going to whip these out. Okay, so that's the front panel out of the way. So now you can see the door seal. Now I'd just like to point out you don't always need to remove the front panel, but if you've never done a door seal before, it's definitely easier to do this if you do get the panel out of the way, because you can see everything that's going on. So we'd already removed the retaining ring off the front of the door seal. There is a second one attaching the seal to your plastic tank behind it. So I'm going to take that off now. And in most cases it's either a wire ring with a spring on it, or it's a one-piece spring like it is in this instance. In either case, just get your screwdriver underneath the spring and just lever it off. And that is that done. So now there is technically nothing holding the door seal onto the tank now. So we're just going to pull it away from the tank, and it should just peel off like that. So now we're ready to fit the door seal. So I'm going to show you what seems to be the case for most makes and models out there. Now if I just offer the door seal close to the camera, so hopefully you can see. So the bit that goes on the tank is in two halves. See, I'll just peel it back. So this bit here fits underneath the tank, and this bit here sits over the tank on this lip here. Now what's fairly common with most brands is there's a couple of arrows. So on this one's actually got four, so there's one there, that's also one there, and another one there. So you've often got corresponding marks on the tank itself, so it's just there to help you line it up. So the method that I use is I'll start by peeling it back, and this bit that goes under, I push that underneath the tank and then roll it onto the top there. And you just keep going around like that. And once you've got it started, you'll find it won't jump off so easily. Just keep going round, peel it back, spread it apart with your fingers, push it under and then roll it over on the top. Now, good little tip for you, if you start working all the way around on one side, what you'll find is the whole seal will start to creep round out of position. So good working practice is to do a bit on one side, then move over to the other and keep going side to side until you've got most of the seal on. And what you'll find is it'll just stay in position then. So I'm just going to keep going round. Right, once you've got the seal in position, there's a couple of things worth checking just to make sure you've got it all lined up correctly. So at the bottom of the seal, there's a couple of drain holes there. So your drain holes should always be in the 6 o'clock position. And it's also worth just checking that the seal, there's a nice gap, a nice even gap between the door seal and the drum. Not a bad thing just to give the drum a little spin, just to make sure it's all lined up. So once you're happy with that, the door seal is in position. We just need to attach the retaining ring on this side here. Now, as this is a one-piece spring, it can be a little bit fiddly dealing with. So even experienced engineers tend to struggle a bit with it. Now, for the most part, there's no real easy way to get this on, other than a little bit of patience and a bit of persistence, and it will just pop back on. So that is your door seal reattached, ready to go. We just need to build the front of the appliance back up. Right, so I'm going to reattach the front panel. Now, it's not uncommon for it to hook in at the top, either side, then just slide up, and then it sort of should just drop into position somewhere near there. So what we need to do now is get a couple of screws in there. So it's going to reattach the control panel. Now there's a couple of tabs that fit into holes on the front panel itself. So I'm just going to drop that into position somewhere near. And there's a couple of plastic tabs that clip on. That's the control panel back into position. So replace the screw that came out of here. Now we can replace the drawer itself. Like that. Now all we need to do now is screw the door lock back onto the panel and reattach the front of the door seal. Now, just like I mentioned earlier on in the video, I'm not going to show you how to do that because we do have another video on that, so follow the link below and check that out. But that is essentially your door seal removed and refit or replaced, as the case may be.